Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. So today we're going to be continuing where we left off here on the old Streams Farm on Farming Simulator 22. So in the previous episode we had started the series and did some equipment swapping and bought Field 9, and it's showing up as 12, but Field 9 Plot 12, so we bought that, we spread fertilizer on that, and between episodes, obviously it's been a little while, but just when I restarted, right before I started recording here, I've been looking at the place again and kind of just looking it over and making a plan, and yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what the best plan of attack here is, because I guess let me know in the comments, do you want this series to be one where we play it with actual seasons, or do you want it to see it be a series where I play it like Farming Simulator used to be back in before seasons, where you just farmed and farmed and farmed and kept going? Or do you want to see me play with the real season system? But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of drive around and just regain our bearings a little bit. So obviously in the previous episode we bought that loader, we owned the gator and all that. We did a contract and got some money on the side. So I'm thinking that we should get into an animal that involves grass, because we need an income over the winter while these fields are getting prepared to be used if we're going to play it with seasons, which I may just skip winter because we kind of got started at the wrong time, just with how things worked out. But I'm trying to remember here what we had at the shop. So I'm thinking we either buy a hayfield or we make one of our fields a hayfield, but then also get a lawnmower of some sort with a bagger, which there is a mod I have installed with the Amazon Profi Hopper. I'll just quickly take a look at that. So you'll see here we got the Amazon Profi Hopper. It is $5,900. You can get it in a variety of wheel colors, but I'm thinking we could do this, have it bagging. We can get a black edition, that's kind of cool. So we could use this, bag some grass, and then feed it to our sheep. The problem is just what do we do about our grass situation, because right now we don't have any fields with grass besides the pastures themselves. So we'll just run back down to the farm here. So obviously we have the edges of the road and field here that are taller grass, but the yard itself, so we have this cattle pasture on the side here, and it doesn't appear to have very long grass in it, which is not exactly optimal, but we have that. The other thing I thought of is maybe some forestry if we bought into some farmland, but we don't have much for long grass available. I'm just gonna look here at the other field. So obviously an income we'll have is the soybeans here, and then we also have contracts to work with. But we have the verge here, the median up to the field, so there might be enough to feed 5 sheep. It just depends if we can sustain them over the winter. We could also just buy hay to feed them, but I'd like to self-sustain this pretty well. We could buy into more land next spring. There are a lot of options, I guess. Let me know in the comments what direction you think we should go. But I'm going to park the truck here. I believe our field is pretty good on the fertilizer application, but we'll just take a quick check. So we could apply herbicide if we bought a sprayer, but it looks like we could spread fertilizer on the field. So let's take care of that here right off the bat, and then we'll be ready to harvest, because I think it's on its final growth stage if I remember correctly. So not quite. So we can hold out a little longer on that, but I'm debating the idea of doing a ton of forestry in one of these fields. It just depends on what the best option is. I'd like to plant some trees, but also cut a ton down. So it's just weighing our options, which we could buy field 10 and then mow it with that little ride-on. But again, it's just knowing what the best course of action here is. Plot 10 might be something to go with, so I'm going to think about this for a few minutes and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, so I've made kind of a plan. I'm thinking we're going to buy either field 30 or 32 because there's sorghum and wheat and we could use that to feed chickens, which can be pretty profitable. What I'm doing right now is I'm heading up to do a fertilizing contract on field 24 and then field 30. So we're just gonna head up there. That's the nice thing about this gator is it's pretty quick, so you can just go from field to field and really go through the fields quite quickly and have a relatively good transport time. I would like to upgrade this to have the faster transmission though. Alright, we'll accept the contract. We'll fire up the spreader and get going here. Now these fields shouldn't take too long to do. It shouldn't be more than like 5 minutes a piece. It's just a matter of distributing it all really good. That's working real nice. So we're going to move to a time lapse of spreading this fertilizer, and I'll see you guys when we get this done. Alright, so we finished those 2 fields off here, and now we're going to get ready for tomorrow. We're going to do it in the same episode, but tomorrow we're going to harvest the sorghum field that I'm about to purchase so that we have claim to it. So I think that's good. Yep. So we're just going to hook this onto the trailer, the header, and then we're going to hook to the combine, and I think we'll be able to do this in one load. And my thinking is that we'll be able to just haul it in one tank hopefully and then use it to feed chickens, which I plan on buying here in this episode. So we're just gonna go out to the main part of the yard here and sleep through the night after we buy the field. Alright, so I think we're gonna go for this sorghum field, field 32. Yep, that's sorghum I believe. So we're going to purchase this field plot 38, field 32 for $43,000, which leaves us with $65,241. So we're going to sleep through the night here, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Well, it's a new day here, and weather isn't looking the greatest at the moment, but it looks like it'll clear up here the next hour or two. So I'm going to bring this down to the field and then run back and... Man, the light is so interesting in this rain. We're going to run up to the field with the combine, have it up over at 32, and then we can just stick around the yard for the next little bit. I am going to elapse time a little bit here just to see if we can't get this weather to go away. But we're going to head over to field 32, see if we can't get at least ready in position to harvest. So I gotta actually check here while we're rolling. Okay, is field 9 harvestable yet? I'm hoping not. Yeah, so we'll be able to harvest that soon, and there might be even more contracts that we can take in. Yeah, quite a few baling contracts still. which is good. Good selection of those we could do. But harvesting, there's only we can only do field 50 at the moment, which I believe is pretty far away. Yeah, that's a pretty big field with that small of a header. So we're going to pass on that harvesting contract. But in the meantime, we're going to head over to our field like I said. Alright, our field is just up on the left here, and it looks like the rain has finally gone away. So, oh man, that looks kind of withered. Hope it's not. I'm just going to pull off into the edge here and make sure that has not withered on us. Oh, it has. Oh no. Well, that plan went out the window. So we have two options, I guess. We can either buy a different field, or we're going to have to figure out something else because, yeah, I didn't anticipate that. So, I might sell this field because that's, I guess, that could be considered cheating, but I guess I just didn't get to it soon enough. So it was kind of my fault, I guess, but the point was to get a crop out of it here, so I guess we'll sell that for now. And I'll look for something better here. Well, we're going to head back to the yard here. We kind of cut our losses on that sorghum field, I guess, which that was a bad timing thing on my part. I forgot that the harvesting wasn't in stages, the level of ripeness like it used to be. So that was a mistake on my part. But what we're going to do now, I think, is we're either going to, if we're going to park the combine, and we can either A, move forward with grass equipment instead and do some hay contracts with our own equipment, or there aren't really any grain fields open for purchase, so I don't think we can really do that, unless at least ones that we can feed to chickens. Well, let me know if any of you know if you can feed chickens oats. Actually, let me just check the guide here. Yeah, you can't feed them oats, so we aren't going to be able to feed them anything for a while, so I think we'll hold off on chickens. But what we can do is we can do sheep. Now, we have a couple of options for small hay fields that are pretty cheap. The nice thing with old streams that I like so much is you can grow your field assortment collection pretty well just because the land is so cheap. So maybe we go for one of these smaller hay plots. That one's 103. 37. A lot of these are pretty expensive, so I think we could go, maybe we go with plot 13, so that's still up in our area, although 10's pretty cheap, and 14. Let's get 14. I think we'll buy that, and we'll buy 10, because then we have some budget for some hay equipment, I hope, and we can do some contracts to pay for the said equipment. What contracts can we get where we only do grass? Okay, so it looks like you have to do either grass or just silage. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a windrower. This windrower, because I just want to get the one I want the first time and not lose money on that, although one will come up in the sale, I'm sure. So I think our best option here is to get a swing out mower, which I haven't gotten to play with the Kubota DLC, although I plan on using it a lot in the series I have planned. That's going to be a similar, it's going to be like the FS22 replacement of the Lone Oak Farm Vlog series, so we'll avoid using the Kubota mower, but we will use the fast bale today. But I think what we'll use is this Kverneland. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, so we're going to buy this, and then we'll rent the fast bale. in the end, though. I want to save as many hours as I can of making payments on it. So if we go here, I'm going to pick an intermediate contract that's pretty close by. I can get something up in this area. 29. Yep, we're going to go for field 29, so we'll accept the contract. She does want hay, which is fine. We can make that work. We'll accept it, and then we're going to rent a tedder. Now we don't need a big tedder for this, so we'll do field 29, make hay out of that, and then see where we go from there. So we're gonna use the Fendt fabric because I haven't used that yet in this series. We don't need the front weight, I don't believe. No, but we'll grab it anyway because I'm using only rear-mounted implements for now. So we'll run over there and grab our new hay cutter, and we'll cut the contract field to start with. So I'll see you guys up at the shop. There we go, we got that hooked up. So we'll head down to the field. I know there's like a ford, a crossing we cross, like a ford, a little river. So we'll have to open the gate and do that. We'll turn on our warning lights. And we'll take a look here. Yeah, it's just here on the side. We'll see if we can't get in here. So it's a two-piece field actually. There's this first smaller portion and then this bigger one across the river. So we'll see where we want to. I'll do the little part first. I think that'll be a good way to go. I like how the gears have added the ability to really low idle and crawl forward, which I'm not using manual mode right now, but it feels realistic the way the RPMs work, which is something really nice about 22. And the way the gear shift moves is also pretty nice to have. These are some narrow gates. I like playing the big American maps, but there's something challenging about using a European style map that's a lot smaller. There we go. Extend that out and we'll get rolling here. This is some nice lush grass. I like that about this map. So we'll just do a lap, and then I'm not going to go too far down into the river here. Stop there. Line up for this pass. I like these swing mowers in bigger fields, but in this instance it might not be the best tool for the job, but they're pretty versatile. I like that I can go inline or to the side. It's just the nice thing with these hydraulic ones, which in real life you wouldn't have this option with something like an older New Holland, but these hydraulic powered ones seems like they'd be a pretty handy thing to have. Obviously I haven't worked with them, but they seem like they'd be something pretty useful to have in your fleet. With these, without having a front mower, we obviously are going to run over some of the hay, but in FS that doesn't really change anything. In real life it would, but obviously in FS we don't have to worry about that sort of thing. I'm a little concerned though, that river looks pretty steep, so we'll see how we'll fare getting across. Now we're starting to get a flow. You just have to get the first headland or two done to really start to get things moving. %10% on this contract. That's good to see. We've only started the first half here, which we'll try to get as much as we can out of this, because having some hay on hand would not be unwelcomed. And that's that piece of the field done. Fold it up and see how we fare on that river crossing. Not too optimistic with how low this tractor sits with that weight in front, but we'll see what we can do. We may have to attack at an angle. I don't see any other ways into the field, so I guess this is your only option. Yeah, that's pretty low. Yeah, we scraped the front end. I don't know how this would work in real life, but it's working. Drive on the grass a little bit and unfold. Alright, and we're off. This should be easier because it's a pretty good sized section of field. There's a lot more turning circular over there. There's pretty much nothing in terms of turning space. Yeah, now we can just do fast up and down rounds. So I'm just going to time lapse this last little bit. Okay, so we're pulling into the store now. We've got this Kubota tedder I just purchased for $11,000, I believe. This recording is actually taking place after the last clip, a few months later, so that's why there might be a little inconsistency. But I'm gonna stick that on there, and we're gonna head back down to this contract we're doing in field 29. And here we have the ford we gotta cross. This seems like the best crossing point, even though it's incredibly deep. We're gonna just turn on that HUD and start unfolding. Yeah, I think once we get this hay equipment out of the way, we should be doing a lot better financially on the farm. I know with this contract we were supposed to make $8,000, which will almost pay for this. And there are a couple of contracts we can do, like a lot of baling and harvesting. That's interesting. That might be a good contract to do for something different. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see some beet harvesting. We'll give this a go and see how the Fent handles this. I know that, like, some of these base game tractors, I know everyone gets kind of tired of them, but they are still fun to use. if you don't wear them out too much, but I would like to try something a little different at some point, just to keep things interesting. But yeah, I like this Kubota pack with the tethers and all the equipment. It's technically not a Giants pack, it's just one that was made in partnership with Giants by, I believe it was Iconic Mods? I'm not exactly sure on that, but I think it was Iconic that made this pack, if I'm remembering correctly. And then, before I started recording again, I did bring our twin wheel hay rake, or I guess windrower, down to the yard. Well, I was trying to figure out where exactly we were at in the previous recording session. But yeah, this is going to be some really easy to get money just from doing hay with our own equipment, and should carry us through for a little bit. I'm confident we'll make quite a bit of money. My goal is to make some hay for ourselves here before the winter comes, and maybe get some sheep. I think that would be a good thing to do. Obviously, in real life you wouldn't shear your sheep, I don't think, in the middle of winter when they need their winter coat, but then again, I haven't farmed sheep, so I don't know. But that's what I would guess. I would do pigs too, but I think we're just not at that point. I haven't really, in all the years I've played this game, I actually haven't done pigs a lot, so that would be something I'd like to try. I just know I've avoided it because of how much work there is in it, but I'd like to do that. Definitely some chickens would be nice. I gotta actually remember if we got any. I don't think we did. I missed a spot. Yeah, let me know what your favorite DLC is down below in the comments that Giants have made for FS22. I'd say the Kubota or Platinum are the two favorites of mine. I actually, probably 2 months ago, I got, probably 2 months from when this video was posted, I bought the Vermeer pack, and I haven't played with it a lot. That's more of one I would use with an American style map, but I like some of the stuff they put in there. I like the beefier baler, that's a more known in America brand, and then that self-driving baler not self-driving, but self-contained baler where you drive it yourself. I think that would be interesting to try, but you'd need a bigger farm to justify that. There we go, so that's the big half of the field done. Now we gotta do the small half portion of it. If I bought this field in the game, which I might at some point, I would take the terraform tool and just put some more fill in there, just to make it easier to cross it. I wish in FS you could put culvert pipes in, because that would just add to the realism, like just being able to put a tube in for letting water flow through. I think that would be a pretty neat addition if you could do that. I have heard of a mod where you can terraform with actual buckets, which any of my long time viewers remember. In one of the episodes of the Lone Oak Farm Vlog series, I terraformed with a tractor, which I had my own little trick for that involved 2 people. But it would be nice to try that self-contained mod. I haven't had the chance to give it a try and see how it actually works. Yeah, we got this tedded. I think I was looking at balers, and the only one that we can afford is the John Deere square baler, which is you probably see that used a lot in videos just because of how cheap it is, but it is a good baler. So we're gonna stick with that for now. I would like to try a bigger round baler, but we just don't have the budget yet for that. And that's the field tedded. So I'm gonna go drop this in the yard, and I'll see you when I grab the windrower. Alright, so here is our Samas twin wheel windrower. So we're gonna throw that on here, hook up the PTO. And that's good to go. So now we can head back to the field where the contract is and get this all windrowed. So we're gonna back up to this gateway as far as we can get and fire this thing up and start windrowing. So this is gonna be a really fast process, I think. I'm actually just gonna do a short time lapse. I might not even add music actually. We're gonna see. So we're gonna move to a quick time lapse of windrowing. This should not take long at all. So enjoy this time lapse. Alright, that is the field done for windrowing. So we're going to shut the lights off on this, because if we're going to run a John Deere baler, I want to do it on the 7810 over here. So we're here at the store. I just want to, you know, everyone uses the store display, but I think it's cool to go inside and look at the models that the modders put in. So Black Sheep, they did a really nice job on this whole dealership. Really, they got nice service center and everything, and then inside here they have all the smaller power equipment stuff. This is like a, oh, it's a hedge trimmer. Looks like a really weird chainsaw, but that's a hedge trimmer. But we're gonna go into the trigger here. We're gonna start looking at some balers. I am thinking we should go with something like this, because we can't afford the fast bale. There is no way that there's not a chance we're gonna use a small baler for this. I would love to, but it's just gonna take too long. So there's that. Otherwise, for balers, the cheapest we got is 22,000. So we're gonna get one of these John Deeres. I think there's the 690 and then the 100. Both the same price, so we're gonna go with the 690 because I believe this, I'm not positive, but I think this is a newer model. I'm gonna run a single wheel on this because normally I run a dual setup, but let me know in the comments if any of you are John Deere experts, if running a single wheel in the back works or not. That's what we're gonna do for today and just see what happens. Yeah, so we're down to 2950, which doesn't get us very far for a trailer for moving bales. We're gonna be broke pretty much, and I don't want to take a loan more than I have to in this series. So we've got to be careful about what we do, but owning the equipment's better in the long run for things that we're going to use like this. Yeah, that fits well. The 690 with the old 7810, both from the same era. You can call this like a vintage series, but it's not. So let's head down to the field. Cut. Now, I think we're gonna do this front portion first because this is the most challenging. Okay, yeah, should have went wider with this. Throw on the 4-way hazard flashers, and see, this gate is tiny. Unfold the baler, and we're gonna just drop the pickup and see what happens. Actually, let me make sure I select the right size. We're gonna do 220s purely because I don't think that little loader is gonna pick up a lot of weight. I think this thing's just trying to find what gear works best. Because I believe this is a range transmission, so I doubt this. I'm sure there's a lot of shifting that has to be done with this type of transmission. You know, in the perfect world, we might be able to actually just get away with bringing almost all the fields over to that big portion. Not bring all the fields, no. Bring all the bales to the big portion of the field. Alright, we're gonna pick up the pickup on this. Yeah, I don't even think we dropped a single bale over here. Which is great for us, 'cause that's one less thing, but that means we have to cross the river with that trailer, which actually it's a wagon by technicality, but I don't know how we're gonna exactly get across the river with that long of a trailer. We might be better off using the little Schaefer articulating loader and just run the bales back and forth to that side of the river so that we don't have to bother crossing. That might be the way to go in this case. Oh, it's not like in the hill. Alright, that's the headland pass done. There are a lot of mirrors and just a lot of blind spots on this tractor, which I know that it's not a modern tractor by any means, but there are a lot of blind spots that you can't even see. And here we are on the last pass of the field. Then we'll unload the baler and see what we've gotten out of this. Should be a pretty solid amount of bales, I think, for us. For sake of convenience, I'm actually going to go against what I said and do it across the river. Because this is probably where we're going to load the bales. I wish we owned that field across the road, because I would just park over there and shuttle the bales across. Fold that up. The pickup is lifted. And we're going to go back to the yard. I was going to just park this here in the field, but no point leaving it behind. We might just have to rent some sort of transporting system. We can, first we're going to see if this can lift bales. If it can't, it's going to go. We're not going to keep a machine around that can't even do our job that we need it to do. Alright, so now we have the SciTech side panel hooked up. Actually, no, it's a Logitech, but that's what it was commonly known by for many years. It was made by SciTech, but then got bought out by Logitech. There we go. Up to that post a little bit. I like how small this thing is. It's just narrow and nimble. Like I could probably fit between the 7810 and that wall with how narrow this thing really is. But we're not going to test that. We're going to go off to the field and let's see what this thing can do. If it can't lift this, we're going to throw a front loader on the 7810 and get rid of this machine. Maybe we can lift 2 bales. I have my doubts, but there's the option's always there. This thing's very twitchy. 7,250 liters. Oh, okay. Never mind, this thing isn't going to go anywhere. We hit the brakes pretty hard. Oh, wow. I can slam on the brakes at a pretty good speed, actually, and it'll hold up fine. I doubt this will pick up 2 bales, though. But maybe I'll be wrong. Okay, it'll lift it. For how long remains to be seen, not very long. I would have to literally just... Yeah, no, it's not going to lift that. So we can't really lift 2. I mean, if we curl it all the way back, it's really not the safest thing. Wish I could just hold the brakes without it shifting. So we want the least amount of tip weight possible on the forks. So we're just going to run back to the farm and grab the... Let's see, we have 1, 2, 4... Only 5 bales from this. I forget they added the sound of swimming. This is probably too steep for this truck, but we'll see what it does. Well, that was fine. It's interesting the sound effects that they added to this map, like the church bells and then the sounds of like the European like fire department. That's pretty cool to see they added that little touch into it. Better? Yeah, that's good. Got good fender clearance, I think we're good. Let's see how the truck handles this. We just can't take turns very fast. We'll put on the hazard lights. Just see how this goes. Where are we going to? Contract. Animal dealer. That is just down to the left here, isn't it? Tag it, and we're gonna go that way. So we've got 14,500 liters of hay, which is pretty impressive that that little loader picked that up. Yeah, this field needs some terraforming to fix that crossing, which obviously it's made for tractors, but still, it's very difficult to cross with anything. So, since this is going to be a bit of a long-winded process, I think we're going to go to a little time lapse of just hauling bales back and forth. So I'll see you guys when we finish hauling this hay. Alright, so this should be the last 2 bales that we need to fulfill this contract. We, by my calculations, only need to keep 1 around. So I'm going to keep that 1 hay bale because it's about 7,500 liters, which will get us pretty far, probably like 2 months in game. Let's see if we can. There we go. So we made 865 off the excess bale, which is really good. Plus we can cash out on our $8,000 now, which will always be welcomed. So yeah, we're gonna cut off the video here, I think. And what we're gonna do in the next episode is we're gonna continue off on the same day, and we're gonna do this beet harvest. So I think this is where we will close out the video here. I hope you have all thoroughly enjoyed this episode as much as I've enjoyed recording it. Be sure to leave a comment in the comment section about any questions or comments or anything like that. And feel free to like and subscribe, and also join the Discord because I do have video updates there from time to time. Obviously I haven't posted in a while, but when I get time I will post when I can and when I feel like it, because again, I'm not doing it for a living, but I want to do it for the joy of doing it, and I feel like by spending a little more time on the videos I make better quality videos. So yeah, I'm gonna make some more videos here on the old Stream Farm, and we're gonna continue in the next episode where we left off here. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye everyone.